It's difficult when you lose your first game because you're not switching to anything that's better against Rogue. That's the list you have. Now that Flurry has a chance to switch to something that's even better against Warrior, it might spell trouble for FroStee.
Yeah, and it looks like that's the case there as he's actually gone. You know, we can see with the Hench Clan Burglar that he has gone with his secondary, the secondary deck, yeah, and then the Nomi, there you go, that's pretty much the deck summed up. Just a small note as well, just to get it out of the way, there are 2 Hench Clan Burglars, the Chef Nomi, 1 Sprint, and 1 Harrison Jones, the additional cards. And he's lost double Backstab, a Blood Cell Corsair, a Swamp Ooze, and a Life Drinker, so removing the weapon hate and some extra little cheeky bits that don't do too much versus the Warrior. Whereas FroStee, at least for now, looks like he's still on his core list.
Now, one thing to note that with a lot of these cheap cards being removed, it is more difficult when you're not on coin to activate some of these cards like Miscreant or Raiding Party. Flurry draws a prep now if he wants to activate the Miscreant, but I feel like he's probably just going to redagger and set up for a Hench Clan Burglar next turn.
Yeah, the turn 3 is becoming a weird question mark, right, for Rogue, because so many of the 3-drops outside of, say, Hench Clan Thug, it actually requires some level of combo, and especially if you're removing backstabs, then that's going to happen less and less, to an extent where at one point people were playing Wisps, both because it's good to dump versus or with Myras, and also a great combo activator for example, turn 3 minions. Well, I guess the argument is Flurry doesn't really need to rush that much with the Evil Miscreant in this matchup.
Goodness, these are not quite tailored for what Flurry wants to do. Looks like he's going to take the cheap option with Explosive Trap.
I'm surprised he didn't go Mass Res.
Yeah, that might have been interesting. Just some sort
with
of
Nomi. Summon the 6/6.
Well, the thing is, with the minions he has right now, even with preparation in hand, like prep Mass Resurrection on turn 6 would just be like, okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be half bad, would it?
It might not have 3 things in the death pool at that point. We're seeing all the tech cards for Warrior from Flurry here. The Chef Nomi, the Harrison, the Burglar.
The weird question is, though, obviously, Rogue can accelerate its point of where Nomi works, right, because of Myra's unstable element. But you do have to draw it, which he has. But in general, it feels weird that we saw how that previous game ended with Myra's just killing him. It feels like sometimes a little bit weird where I feel like you can take your deck to be a little bit too slow versus Warrior, and then they just play Dr. Boom and keep up with you to a certain extent, and then you're fully reliant on exactly Nomi getting the job done whilst not dying yourself. I think it's a trap that you can fall into a little bit.
This might be one of those games too. Like we were saying, a lot of the cards in Flurry's hand are kind of expensive. Might be difficult to find plays.
Yeah, and already FroStee just has the board. And he has great follow-up. He has a Harrison if he wants to blow a weapon out. He has the Ziliax, and then he has the on-demand, combination of Ziliax or the Militia Commander for just removal as and when, whilst gaining board.
And this is one of the ways that people with Bomb Warrior are able to beat the Rogues in a more effective manner than Control Warrior might be able to. Being able to take the board with the early 1-drops and then just Dynomatics creating board swings, you chip off a bit of damage against Rogue. If you end up clearing all the threats and they have to Myras, they risk dying.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary. Another pick, Deadly Poison there, as the discovered spell, not too shabby. But I wonder if just taking the value against with the Harrison is just worth right now.
Just to consider what the secret might be. We know it's a Hunter secret.
He can check really easily though, right? Because he has Warpath.
True.
And he never needs to play 3 cards this turn, so he's not really going to even think about proccing Rat for a long time. Okay, check no snakes.
Freezing.
Defend the gates.
Curious if he's deciding not to.
It's a little bit weird. Yeah, a bit of a look up at the shake of the head. I think he realized.
Might be a bit of the sequencing, yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is when you're against a rogue who discovers a random card and that card is a hunter secret, it might mess with your head a little bit. But yeah, that was a bit of missequencing that shouldn't have happened really to that extent. And there you go. Look, Frosty's disappointed. He needs to just shake it off though, because it wasn't game losing, right? You can make misplays that lose you the game, and then you can make misplays that you can recover from. And at least right now, I'm putting that under the recover from box because it wasn't that big a deal.
Some interesting options here for Flurry. Togwaggle scheme, even though you're not running, Heistbearer and Togwaggle, shuffling in a lot of of anything can be pretty scary too. Like imagine you have 10 life drinkers left in your deck.
Right.
Every turn you just life drinker, heal for 6, deal 6.
Yeah. I'll just do my favorite, shuffling Leroy's.
Yeah, that works too.
Not quite as fun without the Togwaggle with the wands, which is glorious when you just draw like 6 or 7 0-cost Leroy's. But still, not too bad, as you said, the shuffle on a life drinker or on a Chef Nomi. How about that? That's pretty good.
True.
You don't want to shuffle too many in, of course. Like, you know, if he doesn't do it soon, it won't work. But if you, say, drew it, got schemed towards the end of a game, you could shuffle 1 or 2 extras in. It's still going to get some work done.
What jumps out to me here from FroStee could be... The problem is the weapon. If you use Ziliax to clear up this life drinker and then maybe coin out a Clockwork Goblin, just throw more things on board. But it does happen to be weak to the weapon that the Rogue currently has.
Gonna draw first with that shield block. Brawl not gonna do too much now. Brawl's definitely gonna be a potential safety net versus Chef Nomi, or at least a certain amount of time versus Chef Nomi.
You can see FroStee kind of knows what he needs to do here. Clearly, Flurry has kind of a slower hand with the Rogue. With the Rogue, so FroStee pushing damage to the face. Rogue doesn't have that much healing, right? Flurry's running exactly Ziliax
And the life drinker.
and the life drinker,
Yeah,
which
2
is
life drinkers.
2 life drinkers.
So sorry, 1 life drinker in this version because he switched.
'Cause he switched
Two
to secondary.
life drinkers in his primary list, but this is his secondary, so it does only have the 1.
Which means every point of damage push can be relevant.
Yeah, it continues to surprise me that this Bomb Warrior puts on the levels of pressure it does. Like, why is Flurry on 16 right now? I don't know, but he is, and that's just the way there's now multiple bombs in the deck, and it's just like, yeah, Flurry's just going to die soon, and I'm not really understanding what happened, but it did happen. So
Well, he's managed to win back board at this point, finally. And now FroStee's going to struggle to deal with some of these boards. You can Warpath to clear up a lot here. Actually, interesting enough, Flurry doesn't have many minions left he can play. We might be seeing a prep sprint coming out from Flurry. Try to find something to play.
Or we can start chunking damage. Do the ladder favor of Waggle Pick, Swing Face, and then just pass. See what happens.
FroStee's in a comfortable position. He's got a lot of life to work with. Flurry's kind of low on health. Eventually, if FroStee draws like Orange Caliber, throw in a couple more bombs.
He could play Nomi just as the minion and shuffle some in. It's kind of a bad turn, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of rough. I think, how many cards do we have in hand here? 2, 4, 8? So if you prep sprint, you go down to 6, which lets you actually draw the 4 cards, and then you can Waggle Pick. And
it's probably as good as it's going to get at this point.
yeah. I think he may be considering if he wants to play Myra's just so he can play the Nomi. I'm not sure if you want to do that, though.
Oh.
That seems a bit excessive.
With no shadow steps?
Yeah.
I mean, I was joking about the Tog scheme earlier, but with 0 shadow steps, sorry, that scares me a little bit.
Choose soon.
I mean, you're pretty far behind. You have to do something, right? Oh, boy.
Did you just prep a prep?
Yeah.
He prepped a prep.
He's doing it.
Order.
This
Lol.
lets him play the Nomi this turn as well. That's the important thing.
Oh.
So if he happens to hit a Shadow Step, this is extremely powerful.
Yeah, so that's about as much value as he's going to get. And as you said, you know, Flurry's getting close to dying. There are now 0 bombs in the deck. But the worry that he has to consider is how many bombs can FroStee shuffle in his deck right now? But he plays it, and there's no shadow step.
So FroStee is only running 1 Brawl. He's sticking to his primary list, it looks like.
Does Flurry just lose? Yeah. There's no shadow step. So after Brawl, unless Nomi lives, and if it does live, FroStee can't kill it unless I'm missing something.
Yeah. Flurry needs the Nomi to survive the Brawl. FroStee can probably make the read that there's no Shadow Step, because he would probably Shadow Step Nomi just to be
Oh,
safe.
instantly. Yeah.
right.
You do that 100%. And, first out. And suddenly, this just went a little bit too wrong. There's still a lot of damage, so there's what? Oh, the Harrison. The Harrison's just going to beat the scheme. The Waggle Pick, sorry.
You probably have to scheme in something. Ziliax, maybe? You could be a bit more aggressive, shuffle in the Greasefire Elemental.
I think you have to scream the Ziliax to stop the mech answers being, like, Dynamatics being low.
We've seen one Dynamatic, I believe, earlier on.
Yeah, you know, so it's 4 copies. A 4/6/6 is worth it. Maybe.
You need something, right?
Maybe you do the 6/6s, yeah.
You probably have to develop the Waggle pick this turn. I mean, the Warrior has a lot of health to work with right now, right? 41. You need to start chipping that away.
This guy's tough.
Curious to see if he's going to use a scheme this turn. If he wants to save it for his Ziliax. He holds back on a Deadly, perhaps to play around Weapon
I
Destruction.
like that. Yeah, like this is just a great just halfway play, which are normally bad when you don't really overcommit to something. But this is nice just purely because it's enough damage to pile on some pressure. But never mind. That looks like too many bombs. Flurry's just looking down. He's like, I don't even want to see. It's like, wait, that's 2. That's 4. I am very dead with nothing shuffled in this turn, and Flurry could have shuffled. He could have shuffled that turn. I'm not saying he would have won if he did, but he wouldn't have lost if he, if he actually went for it. And FroStee's going to very quickly in this game even it up with his primary deck, I'm pretty sure, versus Flurry's anti-warrior deck, and it's